If you told me months ago that I would stop using DaVinci Resolve and start editing most of my videos in Capcut, I probably wouldn't have believed you, because on paper, DaVinci Resolve is the most powerful free editing software. It has more powerful features, more control, and a reputation that Capcut does not have. So why would someone switch from the most powerful free video editor to a tool that people are still recognizing as a beginner tool? Well, after using both of these tools for some months now, I have discovered something that completely changed the way I look at video editing softwares, and that is what we'll be talking about in this video. And if you are a beginner video editor, or you are still trying to figure out which editing software you should invest your time in learning, then this video could save you from making the same mistake I made. Because my biggest mistake wasn't choosing the wrong software, it was actually choosing software for the wrong reasons. So let's break it down. Here is actually why I chose DaVinci Resolve in the first place. When I got into content creation and video editing, I was in search of a software that is completely free and of professional standard. And anytime I did a search about the best free video editing software, DaVinci Resolve was always recommended. So because I didn't want it to be left behind as a video editor, I thought using this professional tool will make me belong in the community of professional video editors. So naturally, I downloaded it and I started learning. And to be honest, I was impressed. It felt professional with many amazing video editing features such as color grading capabilities and other advanced video editing features that one can find in a video editing workflow. At that point, I thought I had found the video editing software of my dreams. But after spending more time with it, I started noticing something that most comparison software videos don't warn about, which is I was choosing video editing software based on reputation. One of the biggest mistakes I made as a video editor, and this is the same mistake that most beginner video editors are making, is assuming that the most powerful and the most recommended software is automatically the best software for any situation or workflow. The mistake I made was I was looking at the features it offers. I was comparing advanced capabilities. I was listening to professional video editors, but I wasn't asking one important question, which is, does this video editing software actually fit my situation and editing workflow? Because the truth is, software isn't just about features. It's about how well it fits your workflow, your goals, and your current setup. And that is when things started becoming interesting. Because even though DaVinci Resolve had everything that I could want as a video editor, I wasn't enjoying the editing process as I thought I would. And at first, I ignored that feeling, but it came a point that I could no more ignore it. Here is the actual reality of me using DaVinci Resolve every day and how it affected my workflow. Now, let me be clear here. This is not a video criticizing DaVinci Resolve, because at the time of recording this video, I still think DaVinci Resolve is the best free, most powerful video editing software available. But with that said, after some time of me using the software, I started noticing that editing sessions felt heavier than it needed to. The editing workflow actually felt slower, and I found myself spending more time managing the software than actually focusing on the creative side of editing. Then I realized something, which is my computer setup was playing a very big role in this experience than I initially thought. And this is where I think many beginners make a costly mistake, which leads us to the hardware problem nobody talks about. When people recommend video editing software online, they often forget to mention the computer setup they are using. Someone might tell you that DaVinci Resolve runs smoothly, but they are using a computer setup with far more power than what the average beginner has. In my case, my computer could run DaVinci Resolve, but running a software and running it comfortably to its full potentials are two different things. I actually felt moments where the editing process felt more frustrating than enjoyable. Now, none of these issues were necessarily DaVinci Resolve fault, as it is a professional software designed for demanding projects. The problem was that my computer hardware and my editing needs didn't perfectly match the tool I was using. Now, as a beginner starting with video editing, when you are faced with such problems where your computer setup cannot fully run the editing software of your choice to its full potentials, here are two ways you can solve this problem, which is one, upgrading your computer setup, meaning buying a new computer setup which can comfortably run the video editing software of your choice. And this method is usually very expensive. And the second method is changing your software. That is changing your editing software to the software your current computer setup can run comfortably to its full potentials. In my case, I went with the second option, which is changing my software. And at this point, I was no more looking for free tool. I was actually willing at this point to invest something in purchasing the software if that is what it actually takes. Because at this point, I knew that the best free video editing software was not currently running smoothly on my current computer setup, which now leads us to why I decided to use Capcut. Now, as I went back into research for the editing software that can actually fit my current computer setup after DaVinci Resolve didn't work, at this point, I didn't want a software that was solely online, as I wanted a software that I could comfortably use offline. And during the research process, Capcut was the most powerful. So I went with it, and immediately I noticed a difference. Everything felt lighter, smoother, and faster. I could jump into a project quickly, and I spent more time creating instead of waiting. The most funny thing is that Capcut does not have all the advanced features that DaVinci Resolve actually offers. But I realized something very important, which is I wasn't using most of those advanced features anyway. Unless you are planning to edit a high-end blockbuster movie, you will not actually need all those advanced editing features offered by DaVinci Resolve. In my case, and the videos I edit for clients, Capcut tends to work perfectly fine. And I don't have to break the bank because I want to upgrade to a computer setup that can actually run it, as my current laptop is running it perfectly. Next, we are going to talk about a very important lesson every beginner video editor should learn from this. But for now, let me know, which video editing software are you currently using? And are you currently enjoying the editing process? Now, here is the lesson every beginner video editor should learn from this. If you are currently trying to decide which video editing software you should actually learn, here is the biggest lesson I can share with you. Don't choose a software because it is popular. Don't choose a software because professionals are using it. And don't choose a software simply because it has many features. Choose a software based on your goals. Choose a software based on your workflow. And finally, choose a software based on the computer you are currently using. Because at the end of the day, the best video editing software is not the one with the most features. It's the one that helps you create faster while staying consistent.